Hi, I'm Ben, and I'm making an indie card game called Anvil of Tristheim, where you are a blacksmith and the heroes are your customers. Welcome to my devlog. Let me quickly introduce myself. I used to help companies like Spotify better understand their users with data and research. But along the way I realized that what I would rather do is make video games. So now I live with my family near Stockholm in Sweden and make games in our camper van. I grew up in Germany playing the video games of the 90s. Everything from Final Fantasy VII to the first Diablo, StarCraft and lots of MMOs. From Meridian 59, when the internet was all new and exciting, to years of World of Warcraft. Somehow I just loved losing myself in these alternate realities. I've so far released 3 games on mobile. Some had more success than others, but now I want to make something that is big enough to hopefully sustain a full-time career switch to game development. When playing RPGs and MMOs, I've always enjoyed being a support character, like a healer, and I thought, couldn't I take this one step further and make you the blacksmith? Because if you think about it, they're not part of the fighting, but they're actually powering the whole operation. They equip the heroes, they repair their gear when it's hanging in tatters, and they buy all the junk that the heroes don't need. And what if you could then see how the heroes do on their quest? And you could learn from that, and next time maybe give them something fireproof when they head out for that big dragon cave. But wait, won't it be boring as hell to make a game where you do nothing but crafting? Maybe there's a reason why this is usually just some side task to pass the time while you're looking for a group or when you're too lazy to go raiding. I watched 2 amazing videos on this, and there's 2 main takeaways for me. First, the crafting outcome needs to matter, which in this game, check. You produce the wrong stuff and your customers will die like flies. The other point is that if crafting is the main activity in your game, it better offer some interesting and deep choices. And because crafting is usually pretty damn predictable, I had the idea to make this as a deck building game. That might sound wild, but I think it offers the exact right level of randomness. You never know what card you will draw next, but if you put 1 metal bar into your deck of 10 cards, you know that you have a 10% chance of drawing it. So it's random, but also very much in your hands. So with this in mind, let's hop into the camper and get to work. During these devlogs, I'll show you how I make this game in my camper. So if you want to follow along that journey, you know what to do. From my day job, I know that it is absolutely critical to test anything you develop with your audience as early as you possibly can. So the first thing I want to do is start working on the core gameplay loop so that I can start testing it with people, like yesterday. For this, I need to build some boring stuff first. I need a card controller that lets me move the cards around, I need a drop zone controller that lets me drop cards wherever I want, and so on. I tend to prototype my visual style early on as well, so that I can get a feeling for whether I like it and whether I can actually produce that at scale. For this game I'm going with a mix of pixel and voxel art, inspired by this artist here. I really like this style because it's pretty fresh, I haven't seen it a lot, and I can actually do it. I also need to decide whether I want the cards to be 2D or 3D. Most tutorials out there are doing it in 2D, as that seems to be a little bit easier, but I really want the game to have this awesome physical feel of games like Hearthstone. So I'll look into the 3D approach first, and if that doesn't work, I can always back up to 2D. So for now, I'll simply whip up some cards in Blender and create some textures and card assets in Sprite. I also bought this pixel art UI from the Unity Asset Store, and I really like it, and I might actually stick with it and just modify it a bit. We'll see. A key piece of functionality will be to get cards to merge into other cards. The idea is that I have these anvil slots, and if I stack, say, 2 metal bars on one slot, I can then merge down the stack into a steel blade. The way I'm doing this for now is to simply check all the cards that are on an anvil slot and then compare that with all the recipes I have to see if there's an output I can create. So after a couple of days, this is now working pretty well, and with a bit more work, I think I can actually send this out to the first testers. To close it off, I'll do a bit of voxel art and create a new dungeon. These will be the levels where your customers go on their quests, and you can actually see how the items you gave them hold up. I really love crafting these in Magica Voxel. It is just so intuitive and feels more like playing with Legos than doing art. It's the perfect thing to balance out a day of coding and fixing bugs. I'll wrap things up for now. The next time I will add requests to the crafting so that there's actually a goal that you need to fulfill. And then it should be good to get some first eyeballs on it. So if you're up for testing something super duper early, let me know in the comments. I'm really looking forward to sharing my progress on this game with you. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you around next time.